All right, looks like we're live. Wild. I'm Dr. Zimmerman. Hello to anyone who is finding their way into this space at some future time. Thought about doing a live stream for quite a while and never got around to pulling the trigger. But I decided when I got up today, you know what? Uh, I'm just going to do it. So grab a coffee. I figure, I'm going to be sitting around having a coffee anyway. Might as well have it with you. So I hope that you're doing well today. So, what is this? So, this is my maiden voyage on a fasting space, something that I would like to try to get rolling. It's been about a year that I've had this simple fasting channel and um, starting to dive into it in more detail. So, I was a primary care doctor for over a decade, and over the course of that time, progressively learning about studying, practicing, and then managing pretty much a fasting based practice, especially by the end, as I was consulting for a weight management program. The more I leaned into fasting as a practice, just the better I got, both personally and for my patients. And I guess this will be the next step, hopefully. So, what seems encouraging to me about a live stream, a place where people can come together, get to know each other, share experiences. As I'm learning how to do this, I'd love to be able to bring on guests and hear people's experience, to have a lot of Q&A, that sort of thing. So, to start things out today, I thought, well, if I were giving a speech somewhere, I was talking in some big auditorium, it'd be nice to have you ever had to do public speaking? Get up in front of a lot of people and you say, well, you feel a little nervous to do that. And um, so I figure, well, you got to start somewhere. And this is the point that I want to make for everybody. You have a health goal, you're trying to move in a direction of wellness. How do you start? It's very hard to get rolling on something. This is been my experience with many projects. It was hard for me to start this channel, get in front of a camera. Boy, did I have trouble doing that to start, but now it's not so bad. And same thing with going live. I've thought about starting a live stream, fasting live stream. The idea to me, very cool. Get people together. It's something we can talk about, something that we can also do together while we're learning about it, studying it, trying to figure out how do we apply this practice to our life in a good way. Uh, you just got to take the first step. So that's what I'm trying to do today. Anybody who's tuning in, if you're in live, I set it on so that a subscriber can comment after, I think, 1 minute. Um, I have no idea if spammers or bots or something come on. So hit a subscribe and throw a comment if you want. Happy to chat. I filmed a video along the way on the channel so far. I think we're about 48 videos. I filmed a video in there. We all start somewhere, and I really like that video. I think, especially online, the content on YouTube, our whole environment, it's so hype. There's so much hype about everything, especially weight loss, health. Everybody trying to sell things, and everybody getting like instant. It seems fantastic results. This is what people want. It can be intimidating. I mean, just in any way, to start something new is always intimidating. And so we all start somewhere. is kind of an invitation to be gracious with ourselves, to not be hard on ourselves, show ourselves love and kindness wherever we're at. Just accept it and realize, okay, things can, we build on it. You start somewhere and you build on it. And uh, that's what I hope to do with this whole process. So, simple fasting, it's going to be a few different things so far. The videos. If you're coming through here and you're just checking in, I'd say dive into the video channel. If you're not familiar with fasting, I got core fasting series. I think this is a nice way to walk through a practice. I start things out um, just taking a basic food inventory. What are you eating? Kind of looking at that schedule and then walk through basic fasting patterns, how you can slowly transition to sort of this practice over time. And then I've got a video on, leaning into coffee or tea, something like this. Very pleasant space where you can. Usually, people in the morning like fasting the best. It can be at any time, but if you can grab a coffee or tea, um, very nice way to pass some time in a food-free space. So I like to refer to fasting just as a food-free space. If someone very brand new to fasting, you say, "What even is it?" Well, fasting, one way to look at it is just nothing. It's a period of empty space. We apply that empty space to our life, and good things can happen. I think sometimes I've thought about fasting as like, what is the default state or the default operating mode in the human body? I think, in this culture, there's a consumption culture, we're focused, eating all the time, it almost seems like, but even just 3 meals a day without snacks, we're eating very frequently throughout the day. We kind of take that as normal. And that any deviation from that, that's what becomes the exception. A different way to look at it is to say, what if the fasting space is normal? And then we're just adding to that. So if the baseline is kind of nothing, which I think it kind of is, the body very strong. We have body fat. It's a concentrated energy source, is there to power the body in the absence of food. And from what I can tell from studying the body really expects a space like that, at least from time to time. I think about like downtime operations. There's a lot of processes happen in the body when we're not eating, and people generally don't appreciate how much work the body does to handle all of our food processing. So all of a sudden, you open up some space without that. You're just giving the body a break. And this, of course, is a very good thing to do. Run off the energy storage. The first things that happen, you're burning through the blood sugar. And this is a big focus that I have for people, helping people to bring the blood sugar down naturally. Okay, what even is blood sugar? There's a good question. Blood sugar is food that you previously ate, especially carbohydrate, that the body hasn't packed away yet, especially if it's too high. It's like your last meal is floating around there. So I often say to people, if your blood sugar is too high, if you're struggling, say, oh, you just got diagnosed with prediabetes, or you're worried about that, say my blood sugar is too high. Instead of eating that next meal, just eat the one that is still floating around in the bloodstream. That's the blood sugar. You'll burn that down, and this is a way to control blood sugar naturally. So a lot of things I say, well, you say, is that easier said than done? Certainly could be. And that's where I go in some of the subsequent videos that I put out, especially this hunger series. People say, "Oh, I like the idea of the fasting practice, but then I feel hungry. So run through that hunger series. Enjoyed putting that together this summer, and see if that doesn't give you a good perspective. Try to bring down the intensity of it, put it in context, and use every other natural practice is staying hydrated uh, to help mitigate that. And then look at it as a training program over time. Fasting in general, uh, very good, I think, to look at as well a practice, right? Something you practice is something you do over the time to get better. I think people see fasting content, intermittent fasting online, and people jump in a first time and people say, "Oh, I didn't react so well to that. I didn't like it so much, or I felt hungry or something." Every type of fasting practice, whether it's you see a 16/8, trying to have a lunch and a dinner or some sort of brunch and a dinner. There's nothing magic about 16 hours in particular. It's a convention. It's an easy way to think about it. People sometimes get real hung up, like down to the minute on a schedule. This is one of the reasons I started making my own fasting content to start with, is to say, okay, we can be very much more flexible with this, and you can just slowly ease toward these things. They're more like concepts than like rigid, rules. And the more you practice it in general, the easier it gets. One of the more interesting fasting experiences, I got to run a clinical trial. If you're coming through here, if you want to hear about that, I made a video about that, eliminating insulin with fasting. One of the things that came out of that study, all the participants in the study, everybody asked, do you have a support group? Do you have, some way where we can get everybody together who's doing it? And in the limitations of that structure, we never could do it. And part of that was COVID. Also, study was taking place during COVID. Very hard to get people together. But this will be fun. Hopefully, I think some future time I can envision lots of people sharing questions and experiences and thoughts. And I do imagine that we'll get to something like that in the future. Be a little more exciting than me sitting in an empty room. All right, but we did it. So, very happy if you came into this space, shared a coffee with me today. A little trial run. We'll see. You know, did the did the audio work? Does it all work? Uh, Very happy if you're coming through here. I don't know actually how it works. Can you leave more comments under the video? Very happy to have constructive feedback about the live session. Check out any of my videos. Very happy to hear your thoughts and comments on that. One person coming in here at the end. Hello, good day to you. And we have I set this up. It's my first go around on the live chat. If you I think I set it up. Anybody can chat in, but you have to hit subscribe, and then it'll let you chat in for a minute. And yeah, I'll wish you all the very best, and I'll see you back around here sometime soon.